Thank you once again for taking out time to attend this event. Longevity Nigeria is a healthy longevity activist group founded in the year 2015, and we have a very active Facebook group that you can join. So you can search for that Longevity Nigeria on Facebook to join us. And very quickly, I'd like to say a very big thank you to our speakers, especially to Daria, Khaltourina, um, Ilia, Stambler, and Ebenezer, Idowu, Ajayi for carving out time out of their busy schedule to develop content. So thank you very much. And also, I'd like to say a very big thank you to our supporters. I want to say a very big thank you to Visibility Solutions Media, um, and a big thank you to Mascot IT Nigeria Limited. Thank you, Ibilola Bioenergetic Solutions. Thank you, Lumen Publishing House, Romania. Thank you, Bamifemi Hat and Print. And lastly, I want to say a very big thank you to the International Longevity Alliance. So, thank you for taking your time out to participate in this event. Um, we will, we hope that the things you've learned are useful for you, and we help you to live a more healthy life moving forward. Thank you once again. My name is Agbolade Omowole, founder of Longevity Nigeria.
Greetings. Thank you for this invitation to participate in Longevity Day Nigeria. My name is Ilia Stambler. I'm a board member of the International Longevity Alliance and Chief Science Officer of VETEC, the Movement for Longevity and Quality of Life in Israel. I think it is my fifth or sixth time that I participate in the Longevity Day Nigeria. Thank you for organizing it. Thank you for bringing the topic of longevity to public attention in Nigeria. My topic is longevity activism around the world, also in Africa and other places. Why is it important to be engaged in longevity activism? First of all, a little bit of science. What are we talking about when we talk about longevity? We basically speak about intervention into aging because we understand that if we intervene into degenerative aging processes, we will be able to prevent multiple age-related diseases because aging is the main risk factor or underlying cause. We see this clearly with COVID-19. The most vulnerable people are elderly. Recently, we also published a position paper about it. So if we really want to fight the COVID-19 crisis, we really need to improve the aging process to improve health and longevity. There are many proofs of principle that it is possible to intervene into aging and increase health and longevity. This is, for example, the classification from the NIH, from the US National Institute of Health, about the main processes of aging that can be targeted. And there are many proofs of principle that by targeting them in animal models, in some emerging human trials, it is possible to prevent diseases and extend longevity. Now it is our goal to activists to help bring those therapies from the lab to the clinic to all of us. Also, it is very important, besides therapies, to develop biomarkers of aging, because you cannot treat something that you cannot diagnose. It is also an important area of research. I am myself involved in both of these branches, both therapy and biomarkers research. For example, regarding therapies, recently we published, co-authored with Chinese colleagues, a paper showing that a well-known anti-aging treatment, the mesenchymal stem cells, can actually help to reduce mortality in severe COVID-19 cases by calming down the cytokine storm, by improving the balance of the immune system. So this once again shows the connection of aging and disease, that it's possible to use anti-aging treatments to fight diseases, also infectious diseases such as COVID. And also we try to be involved in bioinformatics with my colleague, Dr. Bloch, developing information theory-based biomarkers of aging and age-related multimorbidity, published several papers, included this topic into the European Partnership on Active and Healthy Aging. Also very important to develop measurements of aging, measurements of age-related ill health, not just to predict diseases, but also to test the effectiveness of treatments. This is basically the scientific tasks of longevity. Who will benefit from improved longevity therapies? Everybody, the society, the economy. We know that by postponing age-related disease, we can save huge amounts of money, save the healthcare and welfare system, but also basically to save health and increase the quality of life of every person. It is not just for the sake of the state we do it, but for our own sake for each and every one of us. Who will benefit from it? Everybody, the general public, and who should be involved in it, who should promote it. Also pharmaceutical industry, medical technology industry, health insurance, regulators and policymakers, scientists and students, all should be interested in preventing age-related diseases and improving health and longevity. Many people think that longevity, the issue of longevity is not very relevant in Africa because generally the life expectancy is low in Africa. For example, in Nigeria and several other countries, it is just over 50 years, the life expectancy at birth. But we need to understand that the general therapies that help to increase life expectancy also help increase longevity. The life expectancy in Africa is increasing about 8 months every year, which is a very rapid speed. So the population is aging in Africa very rapidly. And also in absolute terms, about 80% of non-communicable age-related diseases are happening in low-income countries, including Africa. So aging and age-related diseases are also a very important problem in Africa and will become an even greater problem as time goes by. And if we really want to improve the quality of life in Africa and also the Human Development Index, we need to think about increasing health longevity in Africa as well. So we understand the need that it is an important topic that we need to improve health longevity by intensifying scientific research on it. How we do it? Well, as with every social movement, if we believe that something should be done, we advocate for it, we educate for it, we create a social movement. Basically, we become engaged in social activism. And the same for the longevity movement. For the longevity activism, we need to become advocates, we need to become activists, we need to explain to people why is it important to deal with it, to invest resources in it. And advocacy and activism can be done on many levels. At the international level, we can study the international policy frameworks and bring those frameworks to the attention of decision makers. For example, the WHO frameworks like global strategies for active and healthy aging, also the program of work that now includes healthy aging. It is important to bring this topic to the highest level. Also at the national level, there are certain policy recommendations that can be made to governments. For example, this is an example of our position paper with the International Society on Aging and Disease. that argues for the critical need to promote research of aging to improve health longevity for the population, includes some recommendations such as improving funding, improving incentives, social support for the aging field. And these are recommendations that are universal, can be used anywhere in Europe, in Africa, in Nigeria, in Israel, everywhere. They were translated to 12 languages, submitted to several governments. So this is the kind of policy that can be advanced at the national level. But the main unit of advocacy is an NGO, non-governmental or non-profit association. This is where most of the activism is organized and where most of the activities originate. For example, in our Israeli association, we try to increase education awareness about longevity, to increase communication support, for example, organizing conferences, analysis and data processing of the kind I mentioned earlier to find the predictors of health longevity. So that's just our association. Similar or additional work can be done elsewhere, but it is very important that if we really want to improve longevity activism, we need to build up associations, non-profits. I hope more pro-longevity associations will also emerge in Nigeria, because this is the basis for any awareness raising, for any community building. And of course, we don't need to wait for the government to adopt this policy. Each one of us can advance health longevity by our own means, be engaged in research, study relevant fields, join others with similar interests, participate in research, volunteer, just lead a healthy lifestyle, to be able to benefit also from more radical longevity technologies when they're available. So the need for activism is clear. The things that we can do is clear. Has it worked? What are the results of our advocacy and activism so far? We must be honest. We could do much better, but still our movement is very young, and there are many obstacles it has to overcome. But still, we have some positive developments. Here are some examples. First of all, the longevity months that this event is a part of. Very important events have been organized in dozens of countries, hundreds of events, hundreds of promotions. This longevity month of October is really an excuse for us all to bring the topic of longevity to public attention. They could be position papers, they could be conferences. All this was done with some success, and there are actual results of this advocacy work. We were able to actually improve policies even at the global level. For example, at the WHO, thanks to our advocacy campaign back in 2017, the WHO included aging as a part of its work program. It wasn't there. So this really shows that longevity activism can be influential. Also, the development from the Ilia work to include aging as a part of the International Classification of Disease as a modifier also shows that it is possible to change public policy in favor of health longevity even at the global level. And here at the national level in Israel, we also do our best to improve policies, to advocate for health longevity, to increase research for health longevity. For example, we included the topic of health longevity research into the Israel Master Plan on Aging. As a result, there were several calls for research proposals, which is a very good mechanism to engage the scientific community in longevity research. But it's never enough. The more research is done, the more labs are established, the more treatments are trialed, the more biomarkers are trialed, the faster we can advance to our goal of health and longevity. And I do hope that thanks to all our involvement, thanks to all our research and all our advocacy and activism, we will reach this goal as soon as possible for ourselves and for our loved ones. Once again, thank you very much for organizing this, And I hope to be in touch and to cooperate in longevity advocacy in Nigeria, in Africa, and in the future events. Thank you.
Hello, I will be speaking on the topic the role of screening, hand washing, and exercise in public health. My name is Agbolade Omowole, founder Longevity Nigeria. So I'll be treating the issue of washing of hands before talking about screening and exercise. So very quickly, why should we wash our hands? What is the importance of hand washing in public health? Hand hygiene is very important because the hand is a window to some sensitive organs in the body, such as the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. And to understand some of the basic reasons why we should practice hand hygiene, I'd like to quickly mention about the concept of colonization and how bacteria, for instance, can be transferred from one person to another through the hands. For instance, one of the ways in which bacteria can pass from one person to the other is if a neutral person touches someone that's infected and afterwards touches another person that is not infected. The person would have successfully transferred bacteria from the person who is infected to the person who is not infected. And how is that done, and what is the importance of that? Well, colonization is defined as the presence of multiplying bacteria on host tissues that are in contact with the outside environment, like the skin, nose, and intestine. In colonization, these bacteria do not cause signs and symptoms of infection, such as redness, pus, or fever. However, with colonization, the bacteria are happy and thriving outside the body of the host, and the host is not aware. Now, like I said earlier, colonization can be transferred from one person to another by touching an infected person and touching another uninfected person with same hand. So that's why, for instance, it's very, very important to always wash our hands. Perhaps after shaking someone, you should wash your hands with antiseptic soap and water, or using an approved hand gel, you know, hand gel that is approved by the necessary regulatory body in your country. It is believed that hand hygiene is the number one most important measure to stop the transmission of harmful germs and to prevent healthcare associated infections. So, um, moving forward, it is very important for everyone to wash their hands. Now, being colonized by a bacteria does not necessarily mean that the bacteria can immediately access the person because they are just on the skin. But because we move our hands around our bodies, such as the eyes, we move the hands to the eyes and the nose and perhaps the mouth when eating, the bacteria in the hands, the bacteria that have colonized the hand, can easily be transferred inside the body when the hand is placed in the eyes, in the nose, in the mouth, and some other sensitive part of our bodies. So that's just one of the very, very important reasons why we should always wash our hands. And with that said, I'd like to go to the next point. Please kindly note that washing the hands is not something that should be done as a precaution against COVID-19 alone. It should be more of a habit. So um, everyone should wash their hands from time to time, you know. And the World Health Organization has a guideline for hand washing that can be found on their website. For alcohol-based gel, the procedure is that you ensure that it fills the palm and use it to clean the hands for about 20 to 30 seconds. And if you're using an antiseptic soap and water, you should wash your hands for about 15 to 20 seconds. So guidelines for doing it the right way are publicly online. And of course, in developing countries, I know that there is a challenge with even clean water, because hand washing is meaningful when we can prove, for instance, that the water used is clean in the first place. But I believe that over time those issues will be resolved. So now we talk about screening. What is screening and why is it very important in public health? So, screening for disease control can be defined as the examination of asymptomatic people. Asymptomatic means that people who have not developed the symptoms yet. So in screening, the focus is the examination of asymptomatic people in order to classify them as likely or unlikely to have the disease that is the object of screening. Also, people who appear likely to have the disease that is being screened for are then investigated further to arrive at a final diagnosis. So the concept of screening is about um, detecting diseases before the symptoms become visible. Now, it's possible that people are infected with some diseases and they do not know at the onset. So, with screening, you are able to detect those diseases early and also investigate further, and then diagnose those diseases before they become more severe. Um, According to the World Health Organization, Early diagnosis improves cancer outcome by providing care at the earliest possible stage and is therefore an important public health strategy in all settings. Now, I'm talking about cancer because I'm from Nigeria and I've seen people who have had prostate cancer and then breast cancer, but they didn't deal with it until it became severe, you know, and of course, in some cases they lead to death, you know. But I believe that screening can be leveraged to address some of the diseases, especially um, in the developing countries where probably we see more death of diseases such as prostate cancer and breast cancer. If you look at the statistics, for instance, prostate cancer is the second most common cancer among men, and as much as 70% of these cases occur in more developed countries. However, the challenging part is that the most of the mortality that are observed for prostate cancer are in developing countries. So, cancer is a big challenge for, yes, for people around the world. But in developing countries, early diagnosis and screening could help to reduce the mortality rate of cancer and other diseases. Let's now talk about exercise and the importance of exercise in public health. Um, some years ago, I had a very interesting conversation with a pharmacist, and the argument was the about what kills people more. You know, is it drugs, alcohol, lifestyle? And he came up with with a unique perspective. And when he says that the chair we sit on kill more people than alcohol. Now, I I didn't take that as a statement of fact, but I learned something from that, you know, and I began to do further research to understand the harmful effect of inactivity or excessive sitting and all of that. And some of the things I found out are very interesting, and that's probably one of the things that I'll be sharing under this subtopic. Now, according to research by Mayo Clinic, they say that the more hours spent sitting in front of the TV resulted in a 61% greater risk of dying compared to individuals who watched less than 1 hour per day. Similar consequences, according to them, are found for prolonged sitting in front of your computer or laptop, whether you're at work or at home. Another research that I found online was that 20% of all deaths of people 35 years and above are attributed to a lack of physical activity. Well, I understand that other factors might be involved, you know, apart from the inactivity. But however, inactivity is a very large contributor to some reasons why people develop some diseases at old age. And that's the more reason why everyone should prioritize exercise because in the computer age, a whole lot of us probably spend a lot of time online, you know. For researchers, spend a lot of time doing research. IT professionals spend time with their laptops, and then the younger generation spend time on social media. All of these have their own side effects and all of that, but with having a conscious exercise plan or strategy would help to balance some of these excesses. And you know, also exercises have been proven to improve healthy longevity. There are lots of research about that online. Well, I guess I don't have enough time to talk about other issues related to exercise and all of that. And I hope that you've learned some things from my presentations. And what counts at the end of the day is what you do with the information you get. So, see you at the top. Bye.
Dear longevity activists from Nigeria, I'm very glad to say hi to Nigeria because I was in Nigeria. It's one of my favorite countries. And I would like to speak about global scientifically based policies to reduce non-communicable diseases. Of course, communicable diseases are infectious diseases and non-communicable diseases are non-infectious diseases. This includes the most popular, so to say, the most harmful diseases of aging, including cardiovascular diseases, cancer, eye diseases, diabetes, type 2, and so on and so on. So what are the main pathways to control non-communicable diseases? One of them is easy enough to do it just by everyone, is a healthy lifestyle. So what is healthy lifestyle? It includes not smoking, not doing alcohol abuse, healthy nutrition, and physical activity. And this can be done by everyone. Smoking typically takes 10 years of life. It shortens life by almost 10 years. This is really impossibly great number, and you should really fight smoking whenever you can. Alcohol abuse is also another significant behavior risk factor. It is actually a factor of cancer development, or some liver disease development. It is a major factor of traumas, violence, and so on. So basically, avoiding alcohol abuse is also important. Healthy nutrition can be difficult in some societies where some people have low income, but still you can do some of that. Healthy nutrition includes consuming enough fruits, vegetables, and generally products with enough fiber. For example, I actually read a nice study from Nigeria where some young people ate cakes and ate bananas, so bananas did much better, for example, in terms of their skin condition. So natural products like plant-based diet is about healthy nutrition. Of course, if it is important to have enough too. And physical activity. Our ancestors were hunters or farmers, and they did have physical activities. But now many people, for example, office workers, they do not have enough physical activities. And this really is killing our heart and blood vessels and so on. So it is important to promote healthy lifestyle. What else? Unfortunately, of course, a lot depends on just financing money, and increasing budgeting, governmental budgeting of medicine is important. It is not only in dollars. Of course, for example, countries on the West have much more disposable income than, for example, countries in Africa. But also it makes difference what share of GDP, of gross domestic product, of country's budget is allocated to medicine. So we need actually to promote increasing, even within our capacities, what we have like in hand. Even within this, we need to promote increasing spending on medicine. One of major health issues in older cohorts, in older people, is hypertension. Controlling hypertension is one of the easiest way to reduce mortality from NCD. A lot of people with increased blood pressure, they just don't know it. So it is important to increase measurement of blood pressure. And some, like more than half of people who know that they have blood pressure, do not adequately control it, do not take medicines, maybe they are not prescribed with good medication. So improving this basically share of hypertension control is like, it should be essential governmental policy. If anyone has blood pressure above 140, they need to control it with medicines and lifestyle too. But it is important not to neglect it. Otherwise, there will be problems like stroke, could be at least, or it could lead to blindness. So everything you don't want to know, or heart attacks and so on. If we speak of that, there is still a significant issue which cannot be currently treated by medicine, is aging. Aging is actually behind all these negative pathophysiological processes like cardiovascular aging, cancer. Cancer in children is very, very rare, but in older people it's very, very common. So it is important for every country, for every society, to think how to slow down and to delay these processes. Because typically medical science thinks in terms of different separate diseases. Like, okay, we fight cardiovascular diseases, cancer, but they still come from the same stem, from aging. By the way, actually, a healthy lifestyle is one of the ways to slow down aging. We see it on epigenetic aging studies that people who do healthy lifestyle, they are younger. Especially, for example, plant-based diet. It really makes you younger if you consume enough fruits, vegetables, by the way, nuts, and so on. And even with this, we should strive to do more and to promote studies, research in aging. By the way, our research group, together with our colleagues from International Longevity Alliance and Biogerontological Research Foundation, so we made a proposal to the World Health Organization to include aging-related diseases and aging to the list of International Classification of Diseases. And they partly accepted our proposal, and they did include extension code aging-related conditions into their International Classification of Diseases. So now, when it will be enforced, I believe it will be 2022, there will be a lot easier to register anti-aging therapies against certain conditions, for example, against lung aging or immune system aging. And we are actually waiting for these new therapies to come. And I'm sure that there is even maybe emerging, but still some and significant cluster of biomedical research in Nigeria, and we will be happy to have Nigerian scientists to participate within this network of fighting NCDs and aging as a factor of NCDs. Thank you.
utmost delight to participate in this year's Longevity Nigeria event, and I will be speaking on Breathe to Thrive, bone marrow washing, and the immune system. My name is Ebenezer Idowu Ajayi. I hold a PhD in biochemistry and I work in the area of bioenergetics. I represent the Ilia Bioenergetic Solutions, Kajola, Nigeria. All right, it's going to be a very interactive session, and you do not need to have prior expertise to be able to participate. Okay, so having said that, I want us to begin with a very little and short background about the bone marrow washing Qigong and how it can benefit us to build our immune system. When we operate from the vantage place of calm, peace, harmony, compassion, love, we can effect healthy changes and achieve satisfying results. Okay, so having that background in mind, I want us to pay attention to the following parts of our bodies. The head, suspended by the neck, is the neck that serves as a bridge between the torso. So the head, the neck, our shoulder, our waist, and hips. Everything connected by the spinal cord. We need to pay attention to their balance. All right. So the throat, serving as a connector, serves to make sure we achieve balance. So when we turn our neck, our head follows. When we twist or turn our waist, the upper body part also follows. So the waist, the neck are very important steering point for the body. So having said that, I want us to know that if we do certain trainings and we do it slowly, our brain begins to draw a map, and then it creates more neurons to be able to keep it as memory. That way we can instruct ourselves to follow these new patterns that we are creating. So I describe this as neurosomatic quantum key healing. It's a process by which we can derive healing for ourselves. Okay, so if we are able to do this, we can strengthen our immune system, and then we can live healthily. We can be vigorous, we can have vigor, we can have vitality, and then we can be able to live long. That is longevity. So we store ki, which is the vital life force, in the abdominal area, which is a dantian, lower dantian. It's like a bio battery. Okay, so we have the lower dantian in the abdominal area, which is like few inches below the navel. Okay, the real lower dantian is the center of gravity that is resident in the middle of our colon. And our small and large intestine are so long that if we take it to round up our height, it can go around 6 times. And the middle dantian is the diaphragm area. Okay, the lungs expand sideways when we breathe, and then the diaphragm can also store energy. All right, and then we have the upper dantian, which is the head area, or more or less like the brain. It also generates a lot of signals, impulses, which are bioelectric in nature. When we breathe into our abdomen, the expansion and contraction of the abdomen also generate this bioelectricity. All right, so we breathe in through the nose. We can visualize our throat. We can visualize our chest region warming up our heart. The lungs also get warmed up. Okay, and that is why when we breathe out, we can feel the warmth of the breath that comes out with exhalation. The solar plexus, okay, which is just around the sternum, and then this have the areas of the lungs as well, and then goes down into our abdomen, and the pelvic region where we have our gonads, the testes, and the ovaries. These can also be charged up, and then we can coordinate with our perineum, okay, as we raise it gently, and then relax it. Okay, with this corresponding blending and harmonizing and synchronizing our breath with all these movements, with visualization also, we can build up our energy, our key, which is the bioelectricity. So these corresponding points at the front can also have a corresponding point at the back. These points, which are like points, energy, nerve endings, carrying energy like a vortex, they extend forward, they extend backward. They are indeed called chakras. So the crown chakra is here, which is at the head. The third eye chakra is here, which projects forward, and then you can project backward. Okay, the throat chakra is here, it projects forward, and you can also have a corresponding point backward. The heart chakra, similarly, we can trace it to the back. All right, and then the solar plexus, okay, can also be traced to the back, and then we have the one down and around the tummy, okay, which is around where we have below the navel, okay, which is where we store, is the oasis, the sea of energy, okay, and then we have the root chakra. All right, so all these things have some corresponding points and the dorsal part of our body, okay, along the spinal cord called the thrusting vessel, okay, and the thrusting vessel connects our stomach, which is regarded as the gut or the second brain, with the main brain, okay, to transfer impulses and information to the brain, connecting to the base of the skull. Okay, we have the pineal gland, we have the pituitary gland, okay, in the head region, okay, and if we focus on the tip of our nose, it can form up a biorhythm for us when we are breathing. We can also focus on the heartbeat. It can also form a biorhythm for us. What is the essence of focus? Focus is to concentrate our mind, okay, so we can generate more current, more energy, more ki, more power. We are an extension of the divine creator, which is God, or who is God, and he seeks oneness with all of his creation. So visualization is important. You have to pay attention. You have to focus on something that can make our mind to come as one and not scattered. Our thoughts cannot be scattered. We don't need it to be scattered. Emotion is like energy in motion. They keep moving. But if we can gather them together, we gather the key, we leave the key, we direct it with our mind, okay, so we can gather and focus. The more we are able to concentrate, the higher our energy. It's just like the physics formula that says that V is equal to IR, okay, so our energy level can rise. We can realize that our resistance is constant, that we are not shaking, going up and down. Resistance is constant. And again, the more relaxed we are, with less resistance, okay, impedance is low. We are not resisting, we are flowing, we are in the flow. Then the more the current, like the key that we generate, and this key can flow if the voltage is constant. Okay, so having said that, we have to maintain a relaxed posture whenever we want to practice this bone marrow washing qigong. The lotus posture is fine, as always. Either we are lying down, or we are seated, or we are standing. The idea is to keep the spine straight as much as we can. So we keep the lotus posture. Actually, when we say lotus, it means flowing. Okay, lothic means flowing. When we say in the ecosystem, the lothic, like river bodies, lothic flowing, and the lenthic, they are slow or stagnant. They are not flowing. So we should maintain a relaxed posture. We should be comfortable in the clothing. We should be comfortable with the environment. We should be comfortable where we are seated or lying down on our back or standing. Okay, so before we begin, I want you to feel relaxed, get a relaxed posture. If you have not done that, you can pause this video and make sure you sit into a relaxed situation, posture. Gather your mind, control your thoughts. Don't struggle with it. Just observe the thoughts as they go and relax and make sure you are comfortable. To let you know that what we are doing is not magic and it's not a conjuncture of certain knowledge, okay? I want you to join me to rub your palms together and generate some warmth. between your palms, okay? And then I want you to keep a space in between the palms of your hands, okay? Either small or large, okay? And see if you feel any motion of energy, like an electromotive force. Electromotive force. Because we have pulses, as we have the circulatory system, blood flowing through our vein, we have pulses. As our lungs expand and collapse as we breathe, inhaling and exhaling, we generate pulses. As our abdomen expand and contract with breath, when we breathe into the abdomen, which is womb breathing, then we generate pulses. As our lungs expand sideways, we generate pulses. Every cell, like every matter, can vibrate at its position. With this vibration, subtle vibration, we generate pulses. All we need is to pay attention and focus. Attention paying is like spending energy. We spend energy. The energy of metabolism is the ATP. Okay, having rubbed our palms together, creating a ball, a small space within the palms, let us focus on that space. Pay attention to the space in between your palms. Just breathe. You don't have to force the breathing. You don't have to regulate the breathing. Regulate without regulating. Just breathe and let it flow. And see if you can sense, pay awareness, can be aware of any energy in between your palms in that space. Don't be too tight. Just relax your shoulders and relax the space between your armpit and see. It may take time, and as you sense it, you can increase the size of the ball and you can reduce the size of the ball. You can play around with it. You can play around with it. Okay? So once you sense it, then it tells you that you generate electromotive force as a living being. It is this force that even when you feel it or not, when you breathe and you are aware and you concentrate on that breath, you can use your mind to lead it to any part of your body to strengthen your immune system. So you know the basic biology of where your bone is. The bone of the hand, the bone of the leg, the bone of the neck, the bone of the spine, the bone in the head, the brain, the cranial box, okay, and different parts of our body. Because it is in the bone that we have the bone marrow, and the red blood cells are produced there. And the oxygen we breathe in through respiration nourish this blood, and it helps in the formation of new blood cells. The red blood cell, the white blood cell, the soldier of the body, and several other parts of the blood, the lymph and all, the stem cells that are also derived from the bone marrow. So when we do washing, it's like we are making a pouring down of the key energy, like a rain or standing under a fountain, okay, or standing under a waterfall. I've told you about visualization. So when we raise the key, you gather the key and you raise it up, and then you pour it down upon yourself as a shower to run down, to cool your body. Okay, so we lead it by the breath, and you visualize that that breath is going into the bone, running through the marrow and washing the marrow. And as you breathe out, you visualize and put the attention that you are sending out toxin. Okay, CO2 is toxic. We exhale it out as a byproduct. Oxygen is nourishing. We breathe it in as health and vitality. So you breathe it in and then you breathe it out. Okay, so when you breathe in, you visualize you're breathing in vitality and health, and when you breathe out, you pay attention that you are sending out toxin, any waste, any poison. Okay, so when you have pain in your body, in any body part, except that we are focusing on the bone and the bone marrow at this time, you visualize and you breathe it in, and in exchange, you take out what is not good for your body, and you nourish. So you do this as a form of self-care, relaxing your body. So it's about making your breath to meet a section of your body that is in pain or that needs nourishing. And then you now apply a touch to it. For example, you meet a touch, you already know that you generate energy within your palms, and you can use it for self-healing therapy. So your breath goes to the area of your visualization and focus, by your basic knowledge of biology, and then your touch meets it. Combining these three things, you can diffuse the pain, you can remove toxicity, you can remove negative energy or low vibration energy, and you visualize that you breathe out, you send them out. The universe receives it. The universe changes it. Energy cannot be created, but can be changed from one form to another. So you send out the bad energy, the universe gives you the good energy. As you breathe it in, you exchange it with the bad energy. You take the good and you remove the bad. So in exchange, the universe knows cycle, and the ecosystem knows how to balance all these things out. If you wish to know more, you can reach out to me. Okay, I take classes every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Nigerian time. I broadcast it live on Instagram. Okay, you can see my handle, which is IDNEZIRDUX.AEIOU. I know it's quite long, but I will send it out to you written and spelled out. Okay, so thank you for coming along in this session. To your health, to your worth, to your vitality, to your longevity, and to your happiness. Thank you very much. Have a blessed time.
So, thank you once again for taking out time to attend this event. Longevity Nigeria is a healthy longevity activist group founded in the year 2015, and we have a very active Facebook group that you can join. So you could search for that, Longevity Nigeria, on Facebook to join us. And very quickly, I'd like to say a very big thank you to our speakers, especially to Daria, Khaltourina, Ilia, Stambler, and Ebenezer, Idowu, Ajayi, for carving out time out of their busy schedule to develop content. So thank you very much. And also, I'd like to say a very big thank you to our supporters. I want to say a very big thank you to Visibility Solutions Media, and a big thank you to Mascot IT Nigeria Limited. Thank you, Ibilola Bioenergetic Solutions. Thank you, Lumen Publishing House, Romania. Thank you, Bamifemi Hat and Print. And lastly, I want to say a very big thank you to the International Longevity Alliance. So thank you for taking your time out to participate in this event. We hope that the things you've learned are useful for you, and we help you to live a more healthy life moving forward. Thank you once again. My name is Agbolade, Omowole, founder of Longevity Nigeria. See you at the top. Bye.